Hey guys, we're back for the second segment of talking about interracial dating with Ted and Chris. So just sit back and we're gonna see you in just a minute. Hey guys, we are back for the second segment on interracial dating with Ted and Chris. Guys, let's start with Ted. Reintroduce yourself.
How you doing, guys? I'm Ted. They call me Logic in the music world, like I said before. Just here, man, with Lynn on the show, talk about interracial dating.
All right. And Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's the deal going down? It's your boy C. Griggs, the Rogue from the Rogue Radio over at Anchor.fm. And we're finishing up the segment of interracial dating and marriage, and just glad to be here. It's been a great day.
It's been a great day. It's a long day,
Yeah.
but it's been a great day. Okay, so before we kind of get into the discussion, I want to talk about Wigless Wednesdays. I'm not sure if you guys saw the segment that I just put up a couple of days ago, actually yesterday, not a couple of days ago, yesterday, where my middle son, Malik, shared with his mother that he likes Hispanic girls, and I feel some kind of way. I felt some kind of way about that. So I thought it was, it was interesting. Felt some kind of way. Because I felt like, how can you not love somebody or want somebody that looks like you? Or that looks like I was the first woman that loved you. Mm-hmm. And I was also the first woman that you ever loved. So how can you, when you look at someone that you want to be with, why don't you want to be with someone that looks like your mom? What you guys think about that?
Well, I kind of feel like, why would you want to date somebody that looks like your mom if they look like your mom? Right. Kind of want to veer away from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just kind of how I feel.
Okay.
I did find that black men are actually twice as likely to date outside the race than black women. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of actually been the experience for me growing up as well. I found myself dating outside the race early on.
Right.
Twice as likely? I had no idea.
Twice as likely.
Twice as likely. So basically what you're saying to me is the women are holding it down for the men, but y'all not holding it down for us? That's what it sounds like, if those statistics are accurate.
I wouldn't say that it's like that. It's just like I was saying before, that I dated three women outside of my race growing up. And as I got into adulthood, I dated, black women, explicit. That was it. Okay. And it wasn't until I met my wife that, it wasn't even about not wanting to marry someone of a different color. I just wanted to be single, and she wore me down, and I gave her the shot, not because of a color or anything like that. It was just out of love. I grew to love her, and that's what I think is more important to me at the end of the day, is making sure that you're doing it for the right reasons and not because of the fact that you feel like you should stay inside of a box or
inside of a box,
a box of crayons.
Okay, and I guess when I looked at my son having a preference for Hispanic girls, I felt like, does that say something about you? Mm-hmm. Or is there some level of self-hate going on there if you don't want to look at someone who reflects yourself?
I don't think so. I think nowadays it's actually more, you're more comfortable. People are more comfortable dating outside the race because of the way that the times have moved and shifted. We live in a very diverse country, the most diverse.
Right.
So we just, nowadays we just feel more, and I mean in Houston, Texas,
the most culturally diverse,
you know what I mean? Most culturally diverse
city in America right now.
The most culturally diverse,
exactly.
Okay.
The interesting stat that you talked about earlier on in the segment was that 15% of all new marriages in America are interracial, and that's going to grow. It's just we are a melting pot, and that's what we were brought here in America and established to do, is to commingle.
Okay.
So how can we commingle if we're worried about a separatist agenda? I think so. While being proud of who you are is important. It's, it's the skin that you're in, so you have to love that. But at the same token, love being an American and love being a human, because we're all a part of this human race too, and that's important as well.
Well, and I agree. That yes, we need to get out of the boundaries that race put us in, you know, out of, okay, this is black, this is white, because at the end of the day, we're all human. So I do agree with that. I guess I also feel some kind of way because black families are important. And at a time where we have a lot of we see the breakdown of the black family, how is interracial dating helping or hurting that? Do you think that it contributes to a structure that's already weak?
Oh man, that's actually a good point you make. I feel like it could possibly contribute to its weakness and make it even weaker. I mean, we're a dominant race as far as I'm concerned, and I just feel like you know, we continue to stick together as a race, then that'll help us move forward. But it's love. Love is love. Man.
Well, love is love, and it's hard for me because I see both sides of it. Like I see, yes, marry who you love. It doesn't matter what. Like I said before, you could be polka dot and with stripes. Marry who you love, but at the same time, I'm like, well, then that kind of goes against who I am. I had a black mom and a black daddy,
right?
You know, and that made me who I am today. So it's kind of like you see two sides of the coin.
But that also forces you to want to, you know, have to be in a relationship with a black man. You know what I mean? As opposed to
let's look at it like this though. There's so many ways of looking at it. You know, does it destroy the fabric of the black family? In my opinion, no. It only enforces the fact that we have the choice to be able to choose who we want to choose. You know, and that's the big part of it is, you know, it's your choice, but make the healthy choice. Okay. You know, because why would you stay in a healthy, in an unhealthy black marriage? You know, when you're having to support a man who don't want to work, you know, or you have to support a woman who would rather be, you know, doing something that she ain't got no business instead of taking care of home.
Right.
You know, let's worry about, you know, supporting the family first.
Right.
Then we can worry about where we are as a culture. Yeah. You know, that's our biggest problem is I think we need to worry about getting our culture right within self.
We limit ourselves to a certain extent. If we
talk about getting our culture right and getting our culture correct, we're also saying that interracial relationships can't be a part of that, can it? How can you value your culture when you're basically watering it down, for lack of a better term?
Well, that's where therein lies the fact of where we're at in America nowadays. Is, are we going to be African American, Black American? Well, one thing we don't take out of that is we don't take the American out of it. You know, so we are we gonna be separate, or are we gonna be equal? You know, we have to figure out within our own culture what is it that we want, because this is a time for us in black culture, where I feel like we're on a rise. So we need to make our agenda clear and known of what it is that we're going to stand behind. Are we gonna say no? You know, we want black pride and we don't want to commingle, because if that's going to be where we're at, then we need to stand behind that.
But there's so much about, you know, our culture that does not accept us, that does not want us. You know what I'm saying? There's so much about it that still, you know, against us as a race. So it's kind of hard for me to say, yeah, let's go ahead and intermingle. Let's all make a big, you know, true melting pot. You know, but at the same time, that means that I lose me in that. That means somebody like me with my own makeup does not exist, basically, in this type of, you know, society.
Well, I mean, but isn't that where I think we're headed anyway? You know, with the fact that this is a worldwide agenda. You know, I don't think it's as much of a conversation when you're dealing with this in Europe. They're thinking about classism as opposed to racism. You know,
so it doesn't matter, you know, what your race is. Y'all po.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of a socioeconomic thing. You know, when you get outside the Western civilization, and so that's that's the weird part of being across the pond over here in America is we're inundated with a lot of different things that we have to deal with as far as our American cultural dynamic. Then you dive below that, and then you have the African American, you have the white American, the Hispanic American, the Native American culture dynamic, and trying to figure all these things out. And that's why I guess for me, a long time ago, it was easier for me to just dial it back and say, hey, man, I'm a part of the human race first. Because, and then look at where I can be as one with the human race. And aside from that, I'm also a black man,
Okay.
and that's nothing less than a white man or a Chinese man.
Okay.
I'm just as important as they are, but I need to make sure that I'm doing me right.
And I feel like, I would love to say, hey, I'm a human first. But our society does not look at me as a human first. I'm looked at as a black first. Then I'm a woman, and so, and I would love to have a conversation about how we can eliminate those barriers. But these things have existed for hundreds of years. So I would love to not even have to have this conversation with you guys about, interracial dating. So, Ted, I want to ask you, what do you think it will take to break down some of these barriers that exist? Because really it's just cultural things that exist.
Absolutely.
It's not anything other than culture and physical attributes that make up race.
In order to break down that barrier, we just have to keep striving, and as a people, self-worth. You know what I mean? We got to value ourselves. Interracial dating is what makes America, man. We're diverse, and we can't get around that. And the times are changing, so we got to move with the times, and just unite as a people as much as possible. There are many other problems that we're dealing with as Black people that are way deeper than interracial dating. You know what I mean? We just maybe are looking for a comfort zone when it comes to dating outside the race. But there's Black on Black crime that we're dealing with.
Right.
There's the communities actually require us to be more involved and as a people. So.
And I think I agree, there are so many different issues within our own community that exist, and I just don't know, like we said earlier, I don't know if we need to, on one hand, work on trying to work our own issues out, or on another hand, try to assimilate, in a society that doesn't necessarily want us to assimilate.
Right.
So it just kind of depends. It's a difficult situation to be in, and I'd have to admit, all over the world, I don't know if we're the most loved group of people.
In this country, then
it's definitely in this country we have an issue with people wanting to love and hate us,
right?
And love to hate us, but also want to be like us,
right.
I mean,
right.
there's so much, I guess, energy and we're enigmatic that people they're drawn to the Black culture,
right?
While being scared. So it's funny.
It's oxymoronish.
Right. It's funny, but it's
using them SAT
it's
words,
a thing,
oxymoronish.
And we have to deal with who we are, and know that we're going to be looked at, but we got to make sure that we're putting on the best, not front, but the best shield out there that we can put out there,
right? Because we are held at a pedestal,
Yeah,
we
just have to make sure that we're the best we can be, and then hope that everyone will see that we're just people, just like they are.
People, and I think there's so many things we could talk about. We could talk about racism. This conversation could go on for 2-3 more weeks,
right?
But unfortunately, we don't have time for that today.
Right.
Is there anything that you'd like to add, Ted, to the conversation about? You looking for special somebody? Like I said, I'm looking for some chocolates, some white chocolates, some peppermint, whatever.
Huh? I'm kind of in the same boat you in.
Okay.
Just holding a different paddle. Single as can be.
Right. Me too.
Don't know if I'm ready to mingle. I'm still trying to find myself. I think once we find ourselves, the laws of attraction will kind of bring to you what is available out there. So I'm not necessarily looking or searching. I know she'll find me
Whatever she is.
Right.
Okay.
We'll find each other.
You'll
you know
find
what
each
I mean?
other.
So I'm just waiting on that, man. I'm excited about what's ahead, and I'm just gonna let God work.
Let him work,
Right,
man. Let him
you
work.
do.
So, Chris, what about you? What would you like
Well,
to sum up
I
with?
guess we all up here single up and looking. You know, that's why we all out here trying to put our best foot forward.
I know that's right.
I'm in a complicated situation with where I'm at. You know, I'm still, my heart still feels for someone while I am trying to deal with, you know, transitioning back into a bachelor life.
Okay.
But my biggest thing right now is focusing on trying to get what's coming forward with the Rogue Radio.
Okay.
And focusing on myself and not even really worried about love or dating or anything like that. That's why I've kind of steered clear of that on the Rogue Radio. But with us doing this interview here, it's something I know that needs to be talked about on my platform.
Okay.
So that's what's coming up next for me
Okay.
is my next episode where I'll be diving in a lot deeper on love and relationships from the Rogue Radio perspective.
Okay, well, like I said before, I'm definitely glad to join you on the Rogue Radio.
Absolutely.
Whenever you'll have me, I would appreciate that. And I guess for me, I'm just out here on my own personal journey, my own personal path, you know, trying to get to wherever the hell I'm trying to
We
get
need to go have a happy hour somewhere and see if we can go
Lord,
find something,
geez.
you know.
We're gonna get there.
Something,
We're gonna
okay.
get there together.
All right, guys, and thank you so much, guys, for this second segment on interracial dating. I want to thank Ted, and I also want to thank Chris again for helping me wrap up this topic. It is much appreciated, guys. Thank you again for spending some time with me today on Journey to Be Me. I appreciate you so much. Let's remember, on Wednesdays, you can check me out for Wigless Wednesdays, and also on Saturdays for this weekly podcast. Again, like I like to always say, be better today than you were yesterday, and be better tomorrow than you were today. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.